Recently, a Christian commented on our channel accusing me of worshipping idols and praying to a lamp. You can see her exact comment on the screen. She writes, "And you worship idols and pray to a lamp. How pathetic." She apparently assumes that I am a Hindu and tries to position herself as superior by claiming that I worship idols and lamps. So I had to clarify that I do not worship idols or any god. Yet, she replied, insisting that I do worship idols, adding that I also worship rats, cows, and snakes, and even called Hinduism a joke. See what she says on the screen. She wrote, "Of course you worship idols and so many gods like rats and cows and snakes. What a joke Hinduism is." Again, I had to tell her that I don't worship those things. Christians often mock Hindus and other religions by claiming they worship idols and animals, while Christians alone worship the one true God. This is one of the reasons why on our channel we expose the lies and myths in the Bible and Christianity. Christians like her, they are actually confirming that they have no answer to our videos exposing contradictions and falsehood in Christianity. They have no answer, and so they simply resort to mocking as a way to elevate themselves above others. It was not my original intention to compare the Christian way of worship with the Hindu way of worship. But when Christians insist that their belief system is superior, I find it necessary to expose the fact that Hindu worship practices are actually far more intellectual than Christian worship. Here is why I believe Hindus are more justified in worshipping cows, rats, and snakes than Christians are in worshipping their God. In other words, I want to explain why worshipping the Christian God is more idiotic than worshipping animals. Number 1. Animals exist, but the Christian God does not. If Hindus worship cows, rats, and snakes, they are worshipping creatures that actually exist in nature. Christians, however, worship a God whose existence cannot be proven and who does not exist. Hindus can show and touch cows and other animals. Christians have no proof of God's existence except shouting praises like He is a living God, an immortal God, or an eternal God. Why worshipping the Christian God is more idiotic than worshipping animals? Number 2. Animals don't give absurd laws. Have you ever seen a cow, rat, or snake give stupid laws to humans? Never. But the Christian God gives so many absurd laws to His followers. For example, in the Old Testament, the law forbids wearing clothes made of mixed fabrics in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 19, and prescribes severe punishments like stoning for working on the Sabbath in Exodus chapter 31, verse 14. These rules often appear arbitrary and outdated. Reason number 3. Why I believe worshipping the Christian God is more idiotic than worshipping animals. Animals don't command immoral actions. Cows, rats, and snakes never tell their devotees to kill other people or wipe out entire nations. But the Christian God commands exactly that. For instance, in the Old Testament, God commands the Israelites to destroy the Canaanite nations completely, including women and children. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verses 16 to 17. Such commands are immoral by any modern ethical standard. So, in this sense, animals are more moral than the Christian God. Number 4. Why worshipping the animals is better than worshipping the Christian God. Animals don't threaten eternal torture in hell. No animal has ever threatened anyone that if they don't worship it, they will be sent to eternal torture, to hell. The Christian God, however, threatens non-believers with eternal torture in hell, where they will be tormented day and night forever. This is one of the cruelest aspects of the Christian God. Number 5. Why worshipping animals is better than worshipping the Christian God. Animals do not demand exclusive worship. Cows, rats, or snakes don't insist that their followers reject all other beliefs or face damnation. The Christian God demands exclusive worship and condemns everyone else to eternal punishment for not believing in Him alone. Why worshipping animals is better than worshipping the Christian God? Reason number 6. Animals do not encourage blind faith. Animals don't demand blind faith or punish followers for asking questions. Christianity often demands unquestioning belief in doctrines that contradict reason and evidence. So the conclusion is, though worshipping animals and other living things may not be very sensible, Christians have no right to mock or condemn these practices. Worshipping their God, who does not exist, who is morally problematic, and who threatens eternal punishment, is far more idiotic than worshipping animals and idols. So next time a Christian tries to insult Hindu worship by calling it idolatry or animal worship, remind them that at least those animals exist. At least they don't give cruel laws, order massacres, or threaten eternal torture. The Christian God, on the other hand, is an imaginary being who demands blind faith and punishes dissent with unimaginable horror. If we are going to be judged for what we worship, I would rather bow before a cow or a snake than worship a God who teaches hatred, violence, and fear. That's why worshipping the Christian God is not only irrational, it's downright idiotic.